Oh my goodness. As you're setting up, I'm starting recording. We may be
Uh,
live on we may be live on YouTube right now.
oh, that's cool, but
We're not
nobody's
live.
watching
We're not live on the TikTok.
on TikTok. No,
The TikTok. Ain't that what them kids call it?
The TikTok.
The TikTok.
Look, let's see. Wakanda Forever.
Spoiler alerts.
So yeah, I got connected on Facebook for your Prop Josh Productions.
Okay.
So
Hopefully,
that's
nobody will send
description.
any death threats for me.
All right.
That's happened before? Oh yeah, never mind. What you? Yeah.
So
You all right?
the top story this week is I've been receiving death threats.
Wow.
I remember you telling me about that on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. I told Brick was like, "Hey, you need to be careful."
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'll do my best, man. I'll tell your story, but I mean, he was a good man. He was a good man.
I made the wrong kind of cartoon and pissed the wrong people off, and I had to put my ego aside because at first I was like, "Well, I'll say what I want. I can do what I want." And I thought about it. I said, "No, I don't want to die though."
You sound like you sound like South Park. I do what I want. Whatever. I do what I want. I gotta do something about my background. I mean, we ain't really. Ooh, my hair ain't even all there. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, YouTube sees this, and so does Facebook.
Say Facebook and YouTube see it.
Yep,
I always come prepared.
Where's my sponge? Sponge up.
There's currently one viewer on Facebook.
Oh,
Is it
okay,
you?
cool.
Josh.
Is it me? No, I'm not on there. It's my stalker. It's the person that threatened me.
Is it a sexy lady?
I have a lot of sexy ladies that are trying to kill me.
Wow.
If it's a lady, I'm deeper.
That's what I always do. Yeah, so hey. And then I talk to my friends, hey guys, how's it going? Then I see the hey girl, so you know what's up.
Wow.
Good evening. Good evening, Chocolate City.
Well,
So Jason, what we talking about this time?
hey, okay. We talking about? Thank you for asking. It's past my bedtime almost. We talking about Wakanda Forever.
Give me the mouth, but they don't let me know. All the stars are closing. All the stars.
Yes.
That's when
Yes,
that's when the music's supposed to come in right there. Give me the don't let me know. All
Different
the
beat this
stars are
week.
closing. All the stars are closing.
Anyway, let me introduce everybody. My name is Josh, aka Proper Joshua, or Prop Josh. And I'm joined by two others. You guys can introduce yourselves.
I'm Jason, also known as Smiley. I'm Proper Joshua's brother.
And returning another time for
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times now.
A third or fourth, maybe. Maybe
I
third.
don't know. We're losing
I don't know.
count now.
Lost count. Lost count. The viewers have spoken. I'm back.
We have not received any emails.
Don't kill. Don't. Why you gotta kill my thunder, man? Why you gotta kill my thunder?
I'm saying we haven't received any emails asking you to leave. So
got you. Okay. Maybe after this. Maybe after this episode.
Yeah, Brick Jackson. Just in case nobody heard his name.
I know. I know. What Smiley's trying to say, he's about to say we also haven't received any emails asking you to come back. You ain't slick.
Just about to say that, but
Just in case, I am. I'm Brick, T'Challa Jr. Jackson.
What y'all don't know is in the first Black Panther movie when they got the kids playing basketball, Brick's there. He's that little kid.
Oh yeah, that's me.
He's
That's
one of the kids. Even though the movie came out, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
so fast.
I can still play kids in my 30s, man. That's just
Wow.
my talents, man. That's part of my talents. That's what I do.
In Hollywood, 30 years old, you still in high school.
Mm-hmm. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Exactly. Hey, there's a lot of black actors that still be playing kids.
Hey, man,
mean-
black don't crack, man.
Right. Angela Bassett played in her 30s for a long time.
A long time.
She's
You know,
just now playing her age.
the opposite actually has worked for a couple people too. Like Jennifer Lewis and Loretta Devine were playing like grandmothers when they were in like their early 30s.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no,
That's
Jennifer
a
Lewis
trip.
was like 3-4 years older than like Tupac playing his mama in Poetic Justice. Like she ain't that old, but like she got that like old spirit. Like she's been here before. So
She's always been somebody's grandmama.
So
Forever.
let's talk about let's talk about how we saw the movie. Everybody has, because Jason has a good story. So Jason, you go last.
Start us off.
All right, so I saw it.
go
I saw
last.
this movie through the Dolby Theater. Well, first I watched it opening night at a small theater, which was hardly anybody in it. It's like a local theater by my house because I just wanted to see it open at night so I won't see any spoilers. And then I watched it this past Saturday at the big Dolby Theater. It was kind of crowded, but it was a nice little good crowd and stuff. So that's what I did. Brick,
So you
what
saw
about
it
you?
twice.
Now I saw Brick the day of when he was up.
yeah. So I decided to in the afternoon on a Saturday. I wasn't trying to do it at night. And I went with a friend of mine, and it was, yeah. I mean, the theater wasn't actually. It was packed, but it wasn't sold out. I don't think it was and I was at I just went to like the AMC Sunset. So here in in sunny Los Angeles, California, it's 6:14 in the PM right here in sunny Los Angeles. That's for our one lady listener.
One lady.
6:14
p.m.
All right, now y'all up here competing with me for this one. Come on, man. We ain't supposed to act. We brothers, man. We ain't supposed to act like this.
Oh man.
So Jason,
yeah,
how was your
so
experience?
I wanted to watch you know, I love the movie theater, but I'm like when I go to the theater, I want to like do something with an experience. So I looked up like multiple ways to watch Black Panther. Like, how can I engage in the fullness of this movie? So they had a new renovated theater in the Jackson area in Mississippi that has IMAX. It has like Screen X, which allows you to see the screen like on the side, uh, and everything. Like it's like full, like almost 180-degree like picture. And then there's also 4DX or whatever, which is like I think they got a couple of moving seats and stuff like that. But this one has the moving seats, and uh, like have like air that blows, and maybe some kind of like wind and water and all of the elements that you can experience to make the movie like part of it, like it's a ride or whatever. So I was like, let me do it on 4D. So I bought the ticket, $25 a piece. So me and my girl went and got there right on time, got some popcorn and getting ready to watch the movie. The lights are on when I walked in the movie, and I'm like, okay, well maybe, the lights can be on because you gotta find your seat. It's a different type. It looks like a theme, like the theme park moving seat. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And the lights are on during the trailer. The lights are still on, like the overhead bright lights are still on, and then the movie starts and the lights are still on and bright light, and you know how the movie starts off, so you got this epic like moment, and it's like sounds like, can you save him, and I'm like, what's going on? I can't see it, the lights are bright. And so I go and I leave, and I'm like, I can't be watching this movie. No, I ain't spending no $50 for Black Panther.
$50.
Two tickets.
Wait,
I got
$50.
tickets. I got two tickets,
bruh. It's the night
each.
It's $25 a piece,
bruh.
It's $50,
bruh.
So,
Just saying, bruh. This is the '90s, bro. You gotta let her pay for her own ticket.
Anyway, so so the lights are on, the seats are moving. I go and complain, and they're like, oh yeah, somebody's coming out there. And so about 10-15 minutes into the movie, they finally turn the lights off. So it's like, the folks is on they're starting to like get off the ship. They're just walking off the ship. I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. And then they will wind the movie. So it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna watch the movie from the beginning, with the lights off. Then they fast forward the movie to past the part. I don't know what happened. So y'all gotta tell me what happened.
What
They
is
fast
cool?
forward. They fast forward the movie to like maybe they skip maybe 2 or 3 scenes, and I'm like, what? And the whole theater's like, what is going on? And I think they rewind it again.
like this is they like we at their house or
And I'm
something.
just like, what in the world? Eventually the seats move like 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour within the movie. But like, I'm just like, I didn't want to leave because it is 6 o'clock on a Saturday night and I wanted to watch this movie. And I'm like, I ain't going to be able to find no ticket of Black Panther in Jackson, Mississippi at no 6 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. You know, and this all sold out everywhere. So I'm like, so I watched it with that. Man, I was bitter though. Like the first few minutes, I was just like,
Man,
this is frustrating. This is probably one of the worst experiences inside the movie that I've ever had since I watched movies.
whoever was recording that upset.
It felt like bootleg at first because
Yeah.
screen.
He's like, man, I am trying to pirate this thing and to feed my family. And you're gonna have me have rewind and fast, but this is poor quality. Horrible. Poor quality here for my bootleg.
Oh my goodness.
So we gotta tell Jason about the movie. About
we do
the beginning.
Yeah.
Because he missed the part with the once we get to spoil. Well, I don't want to spoil it because we're not in spoilers yet. But he missed the part where they were on the beach.
Yep, I missed that.
If you know what I'm talking about, Britt.
I don't even remember that part.
So
they were on the beach talking, and then somebody came out of the water and
to
them.
I guess I didn't count that as a beach. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that being a beach, but I got you.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that conversation was like, or was it a conversation? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was a long conversation. It was important.
Let me know. Yeah, it was actually literally what changed of the movie.
I mean,
it literally set the movie off in motion.
It really did. Yeah, it did. It literally did.
So that means So that means the whole tribute, you literally didn't see it.
I didn't know what was going on at the end.
Well, I guess you didn't cry like I did then. Cool.
I did not. Like the very
you didn't get a chance to cry.
I didn't get a chance to have. That's the thing. I need to watch it again because the very beginning was all bright lights, and I went to go tell them to turn it off, and then they just missed it. So I like all that stuff. I missed.
Dang.
So there was no emotion on my end.
Well, I wasn't crying at the beginning anyway.
Yeah, you were.
I was crying.
You know, you cried.
Well, let me tell you what happened.
Cried.
I was so they have a little tribute at the end. And I was like, I just took out my glasses. My daughter was like, "Dad, you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." She's like, "You cried?" I said, "No." She was like, "So you just happened to wipe your glasses right now at this spot?"
You knew.
I was like, "Yeah." Stop.
Wow.
Like, my glasses right now.
All right. So anyway, what are y'all thoughts of the first Black Panther movie?
That's a segue. That's a segue. That's a segue. We don't want to talk about Prop Joss crying. What y'all think about the first movie? I to me, the first movie was the ultimate event. Like, I don't know a movie since I can't even think of a movie where the anticipation, particularly in our community, if y'all can't see this podcast, the Black. If you're listening and not looking, the Black. I had never seen something that was so anticipated in my life. I can't even think about a time in which I heard so much. Oh man, we got to go see this movie. And the thing that was amazing too is that a lot of the people that went about Black Panther weren't Marvel fans, weren't superhero fans.
Yeah.
They just wanted to go out and they just knew that this was going to be, movie about a Black superhero that is a part of a larger Black superhero universe, and the music, and then we see the commercial and you see all of the African garb and it felt like an event. I knew people that literally had not even seen 20 seconds of an Iron Man movie that were like, yo, or never seen the Avengers, I got to go see this movie. One of the things that stood out to me, and to say this in a nutshell, I love the movie. I don't know anybody who's embodied a character that we've never heard of more than two people. One, Chadwick Boseman embodied this character of Black Panther, T'Challa, I've never seen anybody just.
Yeah,
You can tell it was him. That was him.
Absolutely.
It was his, and he owned it. The only other one I can remember is honestly, but outside of that, those are the only two. But one
Shaq is still, man.
thing, there was a video that went viral. When I say viral, I mean I have no idea how many people saw it, but let's just say over 1 million. Where two little kids were standing outside of the movie theater next to the Black Panther poster and pointing at it and saying, that's me, or you know, kind of saying who they were. I was out to a dinner with one of my Kakazodi, an actress, and she was like, I always understood, I thought I understood what people meant about representation. I really didn't understand it fully until that moment of watching those little kids go, that's me, that's me. And I was like, yeah, because there's not a lot of time to point to a movie or a TV show and that is of that magnitude and say, that's me, that's me. You know what I mean? There wasn't a moment when I was a kid where I can do that. I can't remember. I can do that with Eddie Murphy movies, or I can do that with, you know, me, or, you know, but it wasn't like those movies, like outside of the stuff Eddie did in the 80s when I grew up in the 90s. So I wasn't there for that. Like that was so big that if I point to, I can say that's me, and the movie's just that big. Like Black Panther was a huge movie, bigger than, and to be able to actually see people that look like me, people, you know, represent my ancestry. It's just, I mean, I can't even really encapsulate how that felt. I wish I can go back to that moment again and see it fresh and new. I wish I for the first time to remember how that felt. I went to the movie theater, saw it twice, and I read. Yeah, that's mine. Sorry, I went a little long, but I got emotional.
Hey,
You start talking about Steel with Shaq, and I kind of
yourself, man. That's how you do it.
steal myself, man.
You got to steal yourself.
I steal myself.
For me, you know, Black Panther won, and I mean, I echo everything you said, Brick, because I mean, like for the culture, it was interesting to see so many people like embrace the beauty and the majesticness of Wakanda, and just like, you know, the concept of, you know, seeing a place that was never colonized by Europeans.
Right.
It's like that world that was created, and it's not the standard stereotype that people make of Africa, that the savages and heathens and all this stuff. This is the most technologically wealthy and advanced place on the planet. And so like seeing that on a big screen, and then the way that specifically Black America embraced that, was like, this is like a dream of where we came from.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
Like
Right.
our roots, you know, like the imagine. So like that's the part of the experience that I enjoyed. But then of course, like I'm a Marvel fan, I'm a superhero fan. Absolutely love like getting to know Black Panther. I love how it fit within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but at the same time, it's a very amazing standalone movie.
Right.
It's
It
like,
is.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
you don't
Yeah.
have to be a Marvel fan. You just can watch the movie by itself and embrace it. And it's like, oh wow, this is a really good story. And I mean, some of the best, and it's what makes it so good, is that the tension of the villain is amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan as a villain is also really cool. But like,
Right.
you kind of want to be with, like, wait, is he a villain? You kind of get his story because his daddy was murdered in front of him.
He's a villain
all
when
that
you
stuff.
understand why he's a villain.
Like, I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say the most complex villain we've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of many other, at least I'll say this, at least the most complex villain we've ever seen in a superhero movie. You know, usually motivations in superhero movies are very one dimensional. This had layers, history, it had conscience. You know what I mean?
The one layer dimension of Black Adam's characters.
So, I mean, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right on that one.
I just recently rewatched Black Panther, the first one, for the first time in like since Chadwick Boseman died, and I like it even more now than I first
Wow.
watched it. And you're right, because it's a standalone movie. I think at the time when I was watching it, I was still waiting on Endgame and Infinity War and stuff like that. The whole, because it was in the middle of it. So now all that stuff has passed, and then you're watching it now, and it's like, oh yeah, this movie stands the test of time. It really does. It's like you said, it's a really good standalone movie. Chadwick Boseman did his thing. Michael B. Jordan did his thing. All the ladies in that movie did their thing. Michael Kugler, yes. I
Ryan
said for you,
Coogler.
Ryan, yeah. Ryan Coogler,
He
like,
definitely put his Oakland stamp all over that.
man.
Oh yeah,
I
he
used to
gonna do
say
that.
when I first watched Fruitvale Station, I was like, this dude deserves an Oscar. And then to me, think he got it better than getting an Oscar. He got to do a Marvel movie, and I was like, hey, you made it, because I've been rooting for this dude since nobody really knew who he was.
Yeah,
number of Black Panther original, like the top is it top 3 or 4 highest grossing movies of all time?
Maybe 4 or something like that.
I think
There's
it's
a few
like,
up
yeah,
there.
it's definitely
It's in the top.
5,
It's definitely
I think.
top 10. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's top 10, top 10 especially.
Definitely top 10.
I mean, and I think that's a testament too to, and this was right after the controversy that said that Black folks can't sell overseas. And then we blow it out of the water, you know what I mean, with Black Panther. And I don't even think we needed Black Panther to prove the point, but you can't argue it now, you know what I mean? And I think, I think too, what Black Panther did was provide us to this almost, I like what you said, Jason, when you mentioned how, this is the colonized, and it's almost like to a lot of Black folks, it was like, wow, could we have really done something like this if we weren't, in
yes,
historical element to like a Marvel, like, Marvel movies are what they are. But the reason, again, y'all said this was a good standalone movie. I agree, because it was so layered. There was so much more to the story. You bringing our culture into it, our very, very complex culture. And I mean, you got us, you know what I mean? And you when you bring in our multi-layered cultural story, I think what you do is that it makes a bigger world than this superhero that has to do something to save something. And then you throw in Killmonger, and all of a sudden you have a lot more to it. And then what I love too is that, was a star, but this of course made him a superstar. I knew Angela Bassett was the legacy. Daniel Kaluuya was somebody who in the same like channel as Chadwick Boseman, who was a star, but a lot of the people, I mean, Lupita had kind of really only done really one big movie at that point, 12 Years a Slave. So, also you mix familiar faces with the cast of people that we've never seen before, and everybody brought it acting wise. And I've always given Marvel for having good acting and strong storylines, but for this, I mean, there were so many people, and that we didn't need this massive origin story and who they were. That was a great, and that too. And I fell in love with everybody, even Daniel Kaluuya, and he was not a good dude in the movie, but I loved everybody's performance. I mean, this is Winston Duke. I mean, M'Baku is my favorite character. Outside of Black Panther, M'Baku is my favorite character, and the humor. That's another thing. The humor that was injected into it. You bring in Forrest Whitaker. I mean, it was just so much.
It was a trip.
It was a trip.
And
again,
just the fight scenes are just awesome.
Oh yeah, the fight scene. I mean, I'm leaving out Sterling K. Brown. That's how good the movie was. Like you kind of you have to go back and like, shoot, there was so many great people.
Brought it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everybody was there, and everybody was, and I feel like everybody knew the mission. Everybody knew what we were trying to do. Everybody knew the assignment. They knew, guys. This is bigger than like a dang Guardians of the Galaxy, y'all. We doing something here. Exactly. We are doing something here that is.
But that goes like you think about it. Ryan Coogler wrote this, and he's so strategic and focused on what he creates. Like he's not the type that just throws out a bunch of stuff. And so I think about the way that I feel like, he had this in mind before he even made other movies, because it's like you can see he built his resume up to be able to gather that. And like, it was so strategic on how he did it. Because I'm like, this made it work, and I think that's why that's why we have a Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. It's because of the impact that this made in the culture.
And let's talk about Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda
Um,
forever.
right.
Wakanda
The
forever.
reason why we're talking about on this podcast.
Getting
I think,
close
like, what are y'all
to our
thoughts
Wakanda
before we get
Forever.
into spoilers?
Ibambe.
What What do y'all think about how this movie is without Chadwick? I personally think they actually did a good job. Like, even though he's missed, I still loved all the characters there. Like, hey, it's like unfortunately, it's like going to a funeral, but you having a good time at the funeral because you're seeing all these people you haven't seen in a
Yeah,
while. That's kind of
Hmm.
what it felt like.
I got you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like when you lose someone who is to the story, you feel the hole throughout the entire film. Like I felt the hole,
Hmm.
and I think too because not only did T'Challa have to pass away, we knew that Chadwick had.
Hmm.
So it kind of takes you a little bit out of the the non-reality, the fictional world of Wakanda, the fiction,
Yeah.
Good point.
because you
Yeah.
know that the only reason T'Challa's not here, it wasn't a contract dispute. It wasn't because he was busy working on another movie. Because the man is literally not with us anymore.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I always say this to people. Like my father, for example, I was like, everything I do for the rest of my life is bittersweet because whatever I accomplish, he's not here to see it and feel it and be a part of it. But his presence is never not there because of everything that
Right.
he meant to me and everything. My dad was a huge supporter of my acting career.
Mm.
And he would call me on the phone. The first thing my dad would say to me is, he would say, "How's everything going? How's work?" And I'll start telling him how my job is going. He was like, "I ain't asking about that, boy. I'm asking about acting." And I miss that. I miss being able just to talk to him. When you Wakanda Forever, where you have such a huge presence, I'm not gonna, father figure esque, the king, and he's gone. You that he's not there, and I think they did an amazing job paying tribute to him. I think the silent Marvel logo was probably the one moment that I was really that
Yeah, that
no
one, that was
music.
like,
Ooh,
right. That one was like, I stopped eating popcorn. I was all eating popcorn. I'm
Yeah.
like,
oh yeah, the images. I mean,
I was
Yeah.
like,
see,
okay, stop.
and then you're reminded of his swag. You're
Man, I know.
reminded of
Right.
the
Exactly.
confidence. You're reminded that he was a man on a mission. It's just
Right.
so it's hard. It's. But you're right when you say that it felt like a family reunion, or like you said, like, and it's funny. I talked to my friend about this too. He was like, it's funny how we always take pictures smiling and everything like that at funerals, like at the end when we're all standing with family. I was like, that was at a
Hmm.
funeral, but we don't look like we've been crying.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
it kind of. You're right. It feels like that, and I think they did I think they did an admirable job, um, making up for his loss. But it's too big of a. But I think they did a
Mm,
good job of balancing. We got to pay tribute to him. Let me fast forward a year so we're not in, and
mm.
let's still make sure that he is a presence that's still here, basically.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's good. That's good. I mean,
But it was felt though. It's unavoidable though. I don't think you can't avoid it. You couldn't act like you couldn't fast forward like sitcoms where a character will pass away and then they might come back and like 3 episodes later it's almost like the person was never ever a part of the show. You can't
Right.
do
Right.
yes. Yeah.
that. You couldn't do that this time. I mean, if they only did that early tribute and then acted like Chadwick never or T'Challa never existed, it wouldn't have been the movie that we wanted to see. I wouldn't have wanted to see that movie. I'm glad they kept
Right.
bringing him
Right.
up.
Exactly. They had to.
It's
You gonna say
real.
something, Jason?
I'm just saying, like the movie you asked about it, like how did it feel without T'Challa, without Chadwick. I mean, it was, you know, definitely, the loss was real, but like it, I think it definitely flowed because the characters were developed well
Mm-hmm.
in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That there was a lot that we can like just kind of lean in on and kind of like see where they are now in a way that's like, okay, this is life continues and this is where they're at right now and this is how we got to figure out, how to deal with this situation currently. So I mean, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
what I
no other Marvel. I'm sorry, real quick, Josh. No other. I can't think of any other Marvel character that can do that. Like if Iron Man died after the first Iron Man, that universe is dead because we didn't have enough to
That's a
build
good
off of
point.
that.
That's a really
You
good
know,
point.
if
yeah.
Peter Parker dies, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? But I think with they did a phenomenal enough job of not only building T'Challa, but also which was Chadwick building T'Challa before Ryan Coogler even got involved. T'Challa was born.
That's true. That's true.
But they did a great job of building that support system in that universe around him. He couldn't do what he could do without his sister. He couldn't do what he could do his mom's guidance and leadership. He couldn't do what he can do without the help of M'Baku and and the rest of and the woman army. He couldn't like Black Panther didn't accomplish his goals alone. He did it as a tribe, and they protected they protected Wakanda as a tribe.
That's the
So
culture.
yeah, that's our culture. Like who here was raised by them? Who was here just raised by one parent? Like I hope grandmama was in my life. My grandmother, my aunt was in my life just as much as my mama was.
Yeah.
And, you gonna get your ass beat. You're getting your ass beat by 4 different people.
Right,
They might
exactly.
they'll take turns in the middle of the ass whooping. Let me get this one. Let me get 2 swings. You know what I mean? That's just
Well, I was gonna say what makes a good movie or just a cast of people is like getting to know the other characters, not just the main star, and that's what I liked about Black Panther and with Wakanda Forever. So his presence was missed, but I was like, I'm invested into these other characters. I really like these other characters. Like like I think I mentioned this on our She-Hulk review about how I like the friends and stuff like that. Like I like shows like that in movies where it's like where the star can disappear and you can still enjoy everyone around them. Like that's
right.
And it's felt more with Wakanda Forever. It's like, man, I love these characters. I'm so glad to see them back. And they're doing their thing. They're badasses on their own.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about the plot of this thing right before we get into spoilers. So the simple plot is that there's a group of fish people. They're hiding some. They have some vibranium in the ocean, and some people are trying to get the vibranium, and they kill these people and stuff. And they find out a scientist made this thing that found the vibranium, and so they want to kill the scientist, and they need Wakanda's help. But Wakanda's like, we ain't helping you kill this scientist, because they find out the scientist is just a young girl. And so that's the basic plot of the movie. You guys agree? I know Jason probably doesn't really.
Oh yeah, I got it.
He missed that.
Yeah. I think it's important to just I guess to name too that also the plot is them recovering, trying to put
right
off after T'Challa's untimely death. Yeah,
right. Of course,
it was not planned.
Yeah,
and that's a good tension because there is no, Black Panther, no protection for Wakanda. That's been mentioned a few times, and so.
Let's get into this. If you see the notes, because all right, so we about to spoil the fuck out of this movie. So if you haven't watched it, get the fuck off now.
Now is your time to dial out.
Seen a trailer, and at this point, you've been spoiled.
So I got first is remembering T'Challa. So that whole tribute at the beginning, and unfortunately, Jason missed it. He can only listen to it. I'm sorry, but. I love the way this movie started, though. For real, like Shuri's trying her best to find a way to save him, and I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, you get the whole tribute of him. The whole funeral scene. I felt like the funeral scene was kind of quick, though. To be honest with you,
it did feel quick, and I think it was probably quick because they probably knew they were going to bring it back in terms of a more extended. I think they basically did maybe what I would consider tributes in the movie. They did one kind of in the middle where she was not really the middle, but towards the end when she went to the when she took the plant or the leaf or whatever that thing is.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they kind of showed a clip.
Yeah.
And then later on they did it again when she was on the beach. So I think they, the funeral. I remember thinking that too. That was a really quick funeral, but I also don't think they do a lot at their funerals because something about their funerals. Because even spoiler alert, the Queen's funeral wasn't that long either. It wasn't a very long thing. I think it's just like we walk them through town and then they go up into the spaceship and wherever they're going to send them next. And yeah. But I definitely like the way they would film open. I think you couldn't do anything but open that way. I thought there was a part. There was a part of me that thought they were going to have some kind of stunt double, do a fight scene, but I think I wouldn't have bought that because we know Chadwick is not Chadwick inside the suit.
Right. You're right. I'm glad I got to speak on that. I was kind of expecting that too because they kind of did something like that with Fast and the Furious with Paul Walker, with his last movie. So I was almost expecting kind of a stunt double, but I'm glad they never show T'Challa in this movie at all. He's only mentioned. And I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That's it. So they don't
that's how you do. Yeah, that's how you respect the actor. And
right.
Even though I'm pretty sure if Chadwick was I'm pretty sure Chadwick would want it to be replaced. I think he kind of hinted at that before he died.
I would have wanted if like this would have been like a dream, like found footage of. If there was possible, because you know how he recorded some stuff.
Yeah. And he said a lot of cool stuff on What If, because I thought they was going to use some of the audio from What If.
Really hoping that
well, can we
2 minutes of something nobody's ever seen just for this movie?
I know. I felt like that too, though. I did want that.
Can we jump? Can we jump backwards real quick if y'all don't mind? Because I was curious about this because I had this conversation with a friend of mine. Like, initially, whenever we found out that Chadwick Boseman died, which honestly still sounds weird to say, and it still hits me weird. I mean, we lost Chadwick and Kobe like back to back, and then COVID. Like we just dealt with 2020 was like.
Yep.
I thought throw them Vision boards in the trash, niggas. You know what I mean? Those New Year's resolutions. But like. I was on the fence for so long. I was on the fence of like, should they replace him? I was like, no, you can't replace him, but maybe they should replace him. Let's keep this thing. Then I was on, all right, now Shuri needs to be the Black Panther, but I'm like, but, and then I was on, for a while I was on, let's just not do it. Let's just end it. I'm just curious to see where you guys were after Chadwick's death and before.
About this.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah.
No,
did we mentioned a little bit.
Me and you talked about this, and not on a podcast, but we just talked about it.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I think I felt like I was all over the place with it.
You said that it was going to be they're going to replace and just do another dimension.
Oh, that was my theory. That was my theory.
Like a Peter Parker thing.
Yeah.
That was that was my theory. And then once I watched Wakanda Forever, because I was one of those people that wasn't really happy with Shuri being the Black Panther. But after watching this movie, I was like, no, she did great. I was completely okay with it.
I was absolutely like, she needs to be the Black Panther. Like, it just makes the most sense. I didn't want a replacement. I didn't want a multiverse. I didn't want them not to have it. I wanted her to. Some
people wanted Killmonger to come back. I
don't see where
that until I watched What If. Until I watched What If, and I said, no, Killmonger is evil. You can't bring him into.
No, you can't bring him back. But I also thought, like, I didn't think about this until I saw Wakanda Forever. I was like, if they would have made Nakia the Black Panther, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah,
I would have been okay with that. I mean, it would to me. They could have made it a plot point to where Shuri just can't. It's not in her. You know what I mean? And then Nakia has to take.
I mean, we might be skipping around, but honestly, Nakia is MVP of this movie.
She is, and man, she is so gorgeous.
I am so mad. I am so mad that everyone else is also deciding that she's gorgeous because I want to be the only one. But like everybody that I'm talking to is like, "Yo, Lupita thick," and I'm like, "Damn it!" I thought I lost my chance because now everybody wants her.
If I was in the same room with her, I would faint. That's how beautiful she is.
Beyond she's MVP of this movie.
Yeah, of course. She was the best fighter, all that
Because,
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, look, thinking about the her. I'm trying to figure out if your outline works, but like, she was just minding her own business in Haiti, being an amazing principal, and then at the drop of a hat, hey, I need you to find Shuri, and she does. Goes to the country, speaks the language, does her own research, goes down into the lost city of Atlantis.
She finds them just straight up finds them exactly where they
are. I love what she.
Oh my goodness!
I love that she left Abbott Elementary to go do that. But yo, I got a different MVP. We're gonna get to that, but definitely, like I felt like. I mean, there's one MVP to me that stands out, but there's almost like a group MVP award that needs to be. I'm not a big fan of participation trophies, but like you know how the NFL has like a player of the week. I mean, there were so many other people. Like this was just across the board. Like I kept remaining impressed with everybody that's like literally is almost like everyone was like, all right, we all got to step up to the plate, and they all delivered. But that's another. We keep going with your outline. Josh, so sorry for the people in the audience. Right. Josh has an outline, and I can tell he gets want to get back. He gets fidgety when he wants to get back to the outline.
Oh, no, I'm good, man.
You look fidgety. So let's get back to the.
No, I'm just keeping myself moving around. No, we can skip around.
But no, that was
the outline is basically just talking through the characters anyway. So
yeah, I mean, because this is very much, even though the plot was important, I think. I want to say like 75% of the movie was about the characters and about what was going on in Wakanda and what was next. Yeah, they had an adversary, but they really didn't have to go to battle with that adversary until later in the film. And that fight, that third act of them fighting and battling it out was relatively short in comparison to the rest of the film, which was really about them transitioning after the death of T'Challa. Plenty of fight scenes, of course. I'm not going to say that there wasn't and they weren't good. They were all great. But the reality of it is, it really became about our world is in peril. T'Challa, spirit of the universe, no longer with us. That was from Captain Planet. I tried to mash that up. But no, sorry, I'm stupid. But no, like the whole story was like, okay, now we're left vulnerable. What do we do? And it became like, who's gonna step up to the plate? The queen
and forgot to mention that everybody knows about Wakanda now, and everybody knows that Wakanda has
not a secret.
Vibranium. Yeah, they all know, so everybody knows, and that was a big kind of hurtful thing for them because they really got to protect themselves now. People are really looking at them now.
And I love that they almost made that like a mistake that T'Challa made. Like T'Challa made a mistake, like showing the world Wakanda. Now we have to pay for his mistake, and it's like they didn't make him an angel in this. They actually criticized him. His actions.
The main point of this plot.
And that's how it ended, right? So it was like, hey, like let's try to be more outspoken and try to. That's the way he wanted to rule, and try to be more have outposts and really help people. And that's what happened, though.
It's like he went. Hey, look, here we are, Wakanda. Here we are, and then he dies.
Yeah,
secrets. See, here's the secret, and he dies. Like, thanks, T'Challa.
It reflects the greediness, especially like that's why I loved hate. Just at the beginning, they just.
Oh no, man! I know
these European folks. So
I know. I was upset too. I said they would. They would do this in real life.
This would. Yes, that's how they do things.
Yeah.
Yes.
They would.
Yes.
So that definitely showed it.
That makes me even love the moment even more so when Shuri was like forced her way to go to MIT to meet Riri, one of the other MVPs. The best addition I've seen, she was a monumentous addition to this movie. I'm glad because she's the only one that is disconnected from T'Challa. So she's not in mourning. She's not grieving. She acknowledges the fact that, of course, that the king is dead. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. Yeah. But she's the only one that's disconnected. So if you did not have Riri, you had a bunch of people. The movie would be about them battling through their grief. and battling through the mourning period and feeling like they have to do something to fulfill this giant shoes that left. Riri ain't got that problem. So they can be free with her dialogue. They can make her funny in moments like you can't make everyone. You can't. One of the big things I liked about Black Panther 2 it was included was their humor. But in this movie, I was like, how are they going to be humorous when everybody's dealing with this? They managed to balance it pretty well, but I think
they balance it very well. Yeah,
but Riri push to where you didn't feel bad that she was not mourning or in grief. So you can laugh at the stuff that she was saying, her reactions, and she was almost the audience, like, oh, because like you remember, even though everybody knows what Wakanda is, nobody's been exposed to Wakanda's cultures,
right?
In the level that she was. Like when she was like, "Can I get some of that?" When she saw how strong she was, like those genuine.
I love that she thought she was getting recruited.
Am I getting recruited?
Oh my goodness.
But what T'Challa did, exposing everyone to Wakanda, made it to where Shuri couldn't hide when she went to MIT.
That's true. But she her immediately.
But Riri was like, "Oh, the princess."
Yeah.
Like, I love that moment. And then Okoye coming out of the bathroom. It was just amazing. Yeah.
I definitely love Riri. Riri was a really I love this introduction of this character. Yeah. She's one of the newest Marvel characters to be created in the comics. And so to actually bring her into a movie, I was very happy about that. I was just happy to see her because she is so brilliant. And she's a young black girl. I love that. And Shuri's the other brilliant young black girl. And I was like, that's I love that. I said, man, you got two of the smartest people in the world in their universe in the same room, and they're black women.
Right.
Yeah, she can invent anything, and they're using her stuff.
She literally invented a way for a class assignment to discover vibranium, and that blew the mind of the Wakandans. Like, how in the world did someone do this? But I didn't see the trailers at all, like for her in it. So like,
well, they didn't say much about her in the trailers.
Did they show her?
They showed her like in that suit.
Trailer.
Yeah, they should show like
another trailer after it, and I was like, oh, that's who. So like, I was really like, I heard they were like, we gotta find this genius or whatever, the scientist. They did really good the way they said it. It's like, we gotta find this scientist, this young scientist. And when they went to, and I saw this MIT, and I saw her from a distance, I said, "Oh!" I saw the MIT shirt. The dude was talking. That just showed the back of her head, and she's talking to the dude like, "Give me my money." I'm like, "This is." Oh my goodness! She did this. So that was my response. That was when they finally, we'll fast forward it to the right part.
So Jason, the part you missed. So the part you miss is this. So at this point in time, as we're going through the film, we now have the legend and Bassett is assumed her rightful place as queen and is essentially taken over Wakanda as in the public eye and on the actual in the actual city of Wakanda. And her and Shuri are battling through basically their grief, and and on top of T'Chaka being dead, not long dead. So she's lost her husband and her son, and they've lost some other people in battle. They lost Zuri, the Forrest Whitaker, who was a huge influence on everyone in Wakanda, having to deal with Killmonger. So like now they're dealing with international stuff. Well, they're having issues with Shuri, of course, so she tried to take her on a little trip to I guess you would call it a beach. It didn't really look like one to me, but it was a beach. And then while they're at the beach, here comes this fish dude with wings on his ankles who essentially says they're mining for vibranium. The American government is mining for vibranium.
Now, one thing I want to say about Namor's introduction is really smooth. He comes in. He's the villain of the movie, but he comes in very smooth. He's all calm. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, man, this is a wonderful looking place." And he talks very politely to them. Yeah. And I'm like, and that's the way he is. The way he carries himself in the movie. He's like, he's not a normal villain. He's actually
he didn't come in like
I'm a cool guy.
He didn't come in, I'm here to destroy you. He was like, hey, you have a nice apartment.
That's the way he walks in.
Look at this place.
This is a nice place.
Oh my god, is that a chalk wall in your? Oh, nice. I love chalk walls. May I use your lavatory? Like no, and like so when he arrives, the basic conversation is find the scientist who made this machine, or I kill her. If I find her, I kill her, and that is what moves the plot along.
And don't tell people about me.
Yeah, and don't if anybody finds out about me, then the craziest part about it is he actually breached Wakanda. No one has ever done that.
Exactly.
Because he was coded in vibranium. Because they
were in Wakanda and he just showed up to Wakanda.
Yes. Because the thing, so the plot is basically like there was a belief that you can only find vibranium in Wakanda. Well, it turns out there's vibranium elsewhere, and they're starting to be mined for it because T'Challa exposed the world to the Wakanda who was running off of vibranium. So now they're starting to look for it. They found some. Naaman and what's his name? Naaman, right? Namor. He found it. Him and his people found it, and they created an underwater world for themselves using vibranium. So now, so he was able to code his body and allowed him to breach Wakanda and get in. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was so cool. I thought it was a really cool thing to do, because I was like, how else are we gonna unless there's somebody? I mean, and they used their plot point from the original movie against themselves. In order to facilitate this villain.
And Namor is very similar to Killmonger. He's very, very similar. Like, he wants the same things Killmonger wanted.
Right.
Except the difference was Namor was more smooth. He was more friendly. Like, there's a scene where him and Shuri are talking to each other because he brings Shuri to Atlantis, and I know Atlantis, and Riri, and they talk, and he tells her all about himself, and he introduces her to his people. They all happy to see her, and
that was a moment I was like, is he hitting on her?
And I like how you have the hero of the movie and the villain of the movie in the same scene talking peacefully. Hey, is there a way we can work out some kind of peaceful resolution to all this? And this is the middle of the movie, and I thought that was very different than any other superhero movie.
And then flashback to give him an origin story that made you sympathetic towards him. Like, I mean, they once again, just like what they did in Killmonger, they gave you enough to make you be like, yo, this is not as cut and dry. And Wakanda's gotta I'm a little bit annoyed because, like, why all the white superheroes got very cut and dry plots where it's just a bad dude trying to destroy the world and they gotta stop him. No, the Negroes gotta have a complex story that allows you to sympathize, but with the villain. But you felt for him, and then you got to meet the little children of Atlantis and all that other stuff.
All of that,
and it's like
the tension. I mean, the origin story of him and the colonizers destroying his home with enslavers, not just colonizers. They were like enslaving his people, and the way that he took them out was like, yes. I was like happy. I was happy to see what he did. He Django'd them. This dude is
right. He did.
He's like, my name is Namor, which means I ain't got no love in my heart. I'm like,
right.
No love at all.
And you couldn't help but to feel him. And I think that was another brilliant writing move, because I think it would have been. I don't think it would have given us as much to love if it wasn't for the fact that he was complex. If he was just like, you know what I mean? I mean, there was a lot going on already. There was already a lot happening. So, like, to give this guy the opportunity, and then have those moments where it was just really slow paced conversation, very cut and dry. And he's like, look, this is what I want. I'm doing it for my people the same way you're doing it for your people. And if you get in my way, I gotta do what I gotta do. And you could, at the end of the day, you just got to be like, yo, I respect them. What?
Yeah,
I respect you, fish ankles. Whatever you got to do.
Wing ankles.
Wing ankles.
Y'all can do this with me or
against me.
No
I mean,
options.
and that's gangster. gangster. That's like back in the day when a gang would come to your house to recruit you and sit down with your parents and say, "Listen, we like your son. We want him to join our organization. We're gonna take care of him. We're gonna. What do y'all need a new fridge? Let's break them off a couple $100 for a new fridge. You know what I mean? Like real. That's how you. If you ever listen to old school gangsters back in the day, that was a sit down conversation with the parents to involve you in their gang enterprises. That's what he was. That's what he was like. Yeah, join my gang, or I have to see you as an enemy. And I got. Oh man, I almost wanted in that moment to be like, Shuri, disagree.
The show said like I'm gonna go to Wakanda and kill every last one of y'all. Like he said that.
Did.
He did. Yeah. He says I kind of have to. I mean, y'all leaving me no choice because if y'all aren't gonna really be proactive in stopping this mining, I mean, it's over.
And that's the thing. He's just trying to protect his world, which this is where I kind of desired more of like this from like I wished that Black Adam had complex.
I haven't seen Black Adam yet, so
Black Adam is very, very flat.
But that was where I was like, oh man, like if Black Adam had some kind of like desire to protect his home like that was like a non-negotiable. Like if you hurt my people, then I'll kill you. Like that wasn't with Black Adam, but with Namor or whatever, his motivation was made sense and it made him complex, made him evil. So it's like he's
still a bad dude.
Yeah, he's a villain. There's no debate about it. He is a villain, and which made the tension when Lupita came to save Shuri and like killed the people.
Right. I was like, that was a trip.
I was like, oh my goodness.
So it's a war now.
Yeah, it's like, and so Shuri was like, "No, we gotta save him." She's like, "No, we got time, girl. Let's get out of here." And so, yeah,
somebody,
that was interesting.
Somebody that kind of it really didn't hit me till he told me. The one thing that he said was upsetting for him was that the last conversation between the Queen and Okoye was her dismissing Okoye from her position as the leader of the army.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
That hurt because we saw it that she did everything she could to protect Shuri and Riri, especially Shuri. But we saw that. And then of course the Queen, she probably hadn't seen that part of the movie. So she didn't see it. So like, and then we find like, and then she's upset naturally, of course, so much already. Yeah. Of course, you're going to be panicky whenever you think you're going to lose your daughter too. I just hate that was their conclusion because you can see how much Okoye respected the Queen,
and Okoye was trying to save the Queen, and the Queen dies in her hands. That's pretty messed up.
But Okoye was trying. She wasn't trying to hurt Shuri, and Shuri wanted to leave. So it was like, that's the thing. It wasn't. She fought that fight scene that Okoye had against 3, or was it 4 of those guys? Like she was a beast.
No, it did remind me of the Woman King a little bit. That whole
of course.
yeah. Like let me go because you remember what happened to Woman King? She went on her own. Like no, we gonna save.
It was very difficult not to have flashbacks. It was weird. It was difficult not to have flashbacks of the Woman King while watching Wakanda Forever. The same way it was hard not to have flashback of Black Panther while watching Woman King.
Exactly.
It was almost like y'all need to have.
They have a lot of connections there.
Yeah,
Woman King's the prequel to Black Panther.
Maybe Viola Davis pops up as an ancestor in the next movie.
I didn't even think about the Queen dying at all as an option.
Oh, that was rough.
But the thing is, so my girl, she said, we were watching. She was like, if Shuri becomes Black Panther, does that mean she would have to be the Queen? So would that mean that the mother has to die? So she said that like 5 minutes before she died. Like wait a minute. she could die, and then she did. I was like, oh my goodness.
I didn't
I
see
knew
it
this was gonna
coming.
kill off a main character. I knew this was gonna kill off a main character. I was just
I
wondering
didn't.
who. Because
I didn't
I was
see it
scared
coming.
for Okoye. I was scared for M'Baku. I was
It's just all of them, everybody.
yeah, I was scared for everybody, honestly, except for like Nakia. Nakia was the only one I knew wasn't gonna die, but everybody else I was like, man, we could lose Shuri, we could lose the Queen, we could lose M'Baku, we could lose Okoye. I really felt like that.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming, and I audibly in the theater said very loud during a very quiet moment after she died, "Son of a bitch!" Like I said, I was so controversial.
I was hoping she was gonna make it after that.
I thought she was gonna.
I was like, maybe she gonna make it.
She next. So here's my thing. There's a part of me that understands why. And another friend said he thinks that she was time, and I was like, okay. Even if T'Challa had lived, that she was supposed to die.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I almost understand it from a standpoint is as long as the Queen is alive, Shuri can't necessarily. It was still ready to be what they needed her to be, because I love Angela Bassett, but none of us. So
no, of course
I
not.
think so she couldn't be Black Panther. So in order to this was exactly what John Singleton did to us in Four Brothers when he killed the fourth brother. Right? He said he did it because they needed another emotional charge to get through the next to get them to a higher level of vengeance. I guess almost.
Yeah. So
like it had to push Shuri.
I'm gonna bring up Spider-Man. This is
which
very
one?
similar. No Way Home.
No Way
I don't.
Home.
I haven't seen it. You about to spoil it for me? Go ahead.
You haven't seen No Way Home?
There's no excuse. It's been out too long.
That is
for me.
no excuse.
Okay,
I know. I just
you have
sorry.
to hear about this by now. It's very okay. So Peter Parker and Shuri have very
not see that movie. I'm just gonna shame you.
It's just it's.
It is
I was
so
not
an entire year.
They have very similar stories.
It's streaming. It's streaming now. I can watch.
Yeah, you could definitely watch it. You definitely, but this is a big spoiler. I'm sorry, I gotta spoil this. But
I'm about to mute this whole thing. Hold on, how do I do that?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm muted.
Spider-Man loses somebody close. I'll put it that way, because Spider-Man always is somebody close. I won't spoil who.
It looked like you muted for real.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, just like Shuri loses T'Challa, then she loses her mom. I feel like it's the same with Peter Parker. You know, he lost Iron Man, and then he loses somebody close to him in No Way Home, and he snaps.
That's a good point.
And he snaps just like Shuri does, kind of thing. So you got that emotional push to make him who he was.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. That death triggers something special for a hero. So that's what happened with Shuri. In conclusion, that's what happened in Black Panther.
There. I didn't spoil it too badly for you. You can unmute. I don't know if he's muted or not. So, what y'all think of Shuri as the Black Panther?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that her transition, the tension of who she was, and getting the suit and and creating, because I mean, like, it used her being able to create the flower shaped herb, like use her brilliance to be able to create that. And partnering with Riri to kind of like be that scene of just that process was really good. And so having her do that made her significant. So then when she got that and saw Killmonger,
that was a trip. That just let you know her anger.
I'm back now. I muted y'all through that whole. I didn't know what y'all was saying. I just saw arms moving. We did the whole thing. I muted the whole thing.
We didn't spoil it. We actually didn't spoil it.
I didn't know. But I had to mute y'all because now I'm gonna have to watch the. Listen to the podcast. So
we actually tried not to spoil it. Anyway, we were saying how what thoughts of Shuri being the Black Panther. Jason was talking about her getting the herb and how she created the herb with her genius, and then but then she saw Killmonger, and of course, seeing Killmonger is like kind of showing that she was angry. Like that's why she saw him, and he's still angry. That's why I was like, that's why I was like, Killmonger should not be a Black Panther. You see him, he's still pissed off. He's still a villain, even
Oh
in the
yeah.
afterlife.
But again, I mean, so my thing with the herb is that their fantasy, or is that actually the is that a manifestation of Killmonger? That's actually Killmonger in
It's
the
actually
afterlife.
Killmonger. It's actually Killmonger because one thing they do is they take the herb when they become Black Panther, and then they see one loved one from the afterlife, and they talk to him. So if you remember, Killmonger saw his dad when he went to
Right.
did, and T'Challa saw his father when he did that.
This
so
is
that's how it works.
I mean, but it was artificially made. So like that's the thing. Like it's kind of like she made it, and it's kind of artificially produced. So
I don't think it's completely artificial. I think she found a way to.
They still had some left though, didn't they? Or they used the last of it.
I think
she used something from. She used like
she did
the chemical. She did it. So I mean, she took the makeup of the bracelet that Namor gave her, which had some of the elements in it, and like extracted it.
That's right.
It something special and brand.
Because she was able to plant more of it.
Yeah, she can duplicate it and plant more. So like that's the reason. But like I thought that the artificial, or the because it's like an artificial diamond, like you create it, but it's like it's not quite directly from the ground. So I think that was a little bit. But I mean, regardless, I thought that was interesting that he said you didn't think this was real, and she was like, "Nah." I honestly didn't like. I didn't think that was believable. For her to not think that place was real. Like I feel like no, she didn't like always do the tradition.
That's something you missed too, because on the beach, the mom mentions about so the mom mentions that she felt like she saw T'Challa in her dream. It's a very important scene. She felt like she saw T'Challa like led her to that beach, and Shuri said, "Mom, that wasn't him. That was the constants of your mind to make you think that."
That's what they were. Those are the pieces that we're trying to put to.
So basically, Shuri's supposed to be like an atheist, even though they're more spiritual, but she's more science. That's basically what they're trying to show.
Which was the motivation for her, like you said, to take her to the beach, which is the catalyst for like the issues that her and the Queen were having throughout this process. Is that she lost her faith essentially because her brother and her dad are gone. I mean, nobody mentioned the King really that much in this. T'Chaka they didn't really mention T'Chaka, but I know, right? Like I said, it pushed the plot, but like, but I was gonna say this when we were talking about the Queen real quick. I was gonna say this. I was gonna say that I will give Angela Bassett to me the MVP because I think she set the tone. When they came back after that 1 year. And she walked through that room or whatever, that little Congress hall or whatever they were doing, the NATO meeting. Literally from that moment on, she set the tone that I think got us to until her death. I think she set the tone that got us to move forward and almost buy that this world could continue without T'Challa because she didn't have to step up at any point in time. Her husband was there, then her son took over as the king, and now it's her. So I think her strong presence, while it wasn't equivalent to, I think, T'Challa or Chadwick's performance or whatever, I do think that she was the one that set that tone. Suri had to be the bratty teenager who, was really dealing very hard with that because she was so close to her brother. I think it was natural for a lot of other characters to distance themselves as they try to figure out what their roles are in Wakanda. But she stepped up, she ran the ship, and I think that's why I give her the MVP because somebody had to do it. She did it, not just as the character, but Angela Bassett's performance, I think, set the tone. When they brought in those dudes in chains and put them on and made them sit on their knees, like that's something that T'Challa would have done. You know what I mean? It's amazing. So I gotta give her the MVP just for making sure that we were. I was almost like a mother. She took care of us as the audience. She helped us. She helped us work through our grief because she was like, "I get y'all are hurting. I'm hurting too, but damn it, the train has got to keep going and we got to keep rolling." And I think that's what she did.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So big shout out to Angela Bassett, man. I mean, we already know you're a legend, but like in her time. I mean, honestly, was happy to see that she got as much time as she did because she didn't get that much in the first one, you know.
Yeah.
But in this case, like literally, like I think every other scene she was in it and handling.
She
so
was
I think
definitely
up until, like I said, and then she died saving the girl's life. I mean,
right, saving Riri's for life. Yeah,
right.
She
didn't even know that girl.
Yeah, it's like she didn't even. Did they even meet?
They just met.
They had one scene together.
Yeah, they
they
literally just met at like. Well, she probably. I mean, she knew about her. When they returned, she met her, but like they weren't really in a lot of interactions with each other until the moment that she saved her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think, and I love too this was. It wasn't subtle, but I love the fact that a year later, the show, you know, because you know every time a president, they always show that before they were president picture, and that been in office for a little while.
Well, this is what it was with her. Where I think her hair was always gray. It's just that she took her braids out because she had braids at first.
I thought it was
gray braids.
I didn't realize that. I thought because I always remember her with a wrap on her head.
Yeah, she had the wrap on her head, but she definitely had the. Yeah, it was white braids, and then she took the braids out. That's
See, I thought okay, I didn't catch that. I thought they were showing the passage of time and how much weight being the queen of Wakanda had taken on it.
I mean, the fact that she took the braids out, still.
Yeah, so that was still part of it. Okay. Either way, though, I still think she killed it. I mean, I loved her performance. I wouldn't her get an Oscar nomination for it because what she did for that. I mean, which made it even harder to watch her die. Like it was just, that was hard, man. I was not happy. Actually, my friend that came with me to see the movie, she said from that moment on, she was out of the movie. No, she's like, shut it up. She's like, I didn't. She's like, I wasn't in it after that because I think how much grief can you give this one girl? Like how much grief, how much loss?
That's what the movie's about. Like she had to, she's been through a lot.
I didn't feel any kind of like I wanted her to take vengeance on Neymar. I was like, Shuri, it ain't no like, go ahead, do your thing, you know, take Wakanda and take them fish people out. Like I was with Wakanda. I was like,
so you was with her about that because I was like, this is kind of harsh, Shuri.
I mean, but the thing is, she get it. Her mother.
You killed my mama.
Her mother.
You killed my mama.
I know. You killed my mama.
So much.
You killed my mama. You killed my mama.
And her brother's gone. Her dad. Like everybody. Now she's.
She lost so much because that's why M'Baku said. Because remember what M'Baku said to her? He said, "You lost so much. You're not a child no more."
And she lost her innocence.
Like, she said she lost everyone who knew me.
Who knew her?
Is dead. Yeah, she did say that. Everyone who knew me is dead. That is powerful.
That was like
that's a heavy line.
Yeah, that was
not everybody who loved me, not everybody who was there, everyone who knew
me.
Like, y'all ain't paying it because the reality of it is y'all ain't paying attention to T'Challa's little sister. Like she's the little funny, goofy, little funny little gadget. Look at you, little gadget girl. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody paying attention. And now all of a sudden she's the leader of this.
And the thing is like, but she had to, in order for her to push herself, she's like, I gotta make this heart-shaped herb. I gotta become Black Panther. Like that was like that motivation in her mind, that fire that pushed her forward. And I think that was the passion that really was able to get her to become the Black Panther and take everybody.
And the reason why Coogler decided to kill her mama. He had to find a way to make her want to be the Black Panther. It made sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
And even though it made sense, I kept thinking about alternatives. Like, could we paralyze the queen? Could we put her in a coma? Like, did she have?
What happens? The hero loses their mentor. That happens a lot. Yeah,
I hate it.
Especially to push it. Yeah,
it's hate it, but it's good writing.
Yeah. So that whole climax. How'd y'all like that whole climax scene? Because it was kind of quick to the point where I thought it was a
fight scene.
Yeah. The whole climax at the end with them fighting and stuff. She actually gets to fight as the Black Panther.
Well, first I thought the fight was. You're right. It felt a little short. But most of the stuff that was action scenes felt short in this film. And I don't know, we all know kind of the rough road it took them to get here behind the scenes. So, I mean, I don't know if that was a factor. But I liked it. To see Shuri get stabbed scared the shit out of me because I'm like, oh, damn.
I was like, we're going to lose her too?
We're going to lose her too? and then if, you know what I mean. But like, I
They
think
had silent fight scenes, like fight scenes with no music. You notice that?
I think I caught that in one of the moments because it felt quiet, and I think
Yeah.
but it was
All
like
right,
at the
so
end of Neymar's fight, right?
yeah, so this is what
Yeah.
happened because since I watched it twice.
Oh yeah.
When
you know
she gets
everything.
when she's almost about to kill Namor,
That's when he's-
that's when they do a lot of flashbacks and it's very quiet.
Mhm.
And the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know what they're doing. Second time I got what they're doing. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. She's going through her mind if she should kill him or not.
Yeah, I caught
And
that.
they're
Yeah.
showing all this reasons why, because like, oh, he's actually a good person, but he killed my mama. But he's, it's like it's all this
It's all
emotion,
attention.
all this going in her head, and she finally decided what to do. And especially when her mom actually speaks to her, she was like, Shuri, show him who you are. I love that. That was perfect.
That I had the first Black Panther movie in my mind, right? Because that's what she said to T'Challa, like, show him who you are, show them who you are.
Oh, I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
That was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the fight scene with Killmonger, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Show 'em who you are. And so
I remember that now that you said it. Yeah. I think, but it's so hard. It's so hard for me. Like I want you kill my mama, you dead. I'm sorry. Like it's hard. It's hard
really
for
hard
me
to forgive.
It's really hard. Like,
your enemy like that.
that's like
I mean,
the
now
thing though. That's like the one thing that I think is the biggest thing you can do to somebody. Kill somebody's mama. Like you kill somebody's mama. Like that's like you should know that you should be dead. Like I was like, you should know that it's a death sentence.
it's literally like going. It's really like the dude that kills your mom, and you go to his prison cell to talk to him. He's like, I don't abide by murder, but I can forgive a man. I'm like, what? No, reach inside that cell and choke the life. You better.
That's why this is a movie. That's why it's a movie. In real life, she stabs him.
No,
the end of Namor.
You better law-abiding citizen that dude right now. You better stab him with a steak bone and take him. No, that was where I was in conflict because I do understand, but on top of that, not only do you spare his life, you come flying with this nigga back to your people. Like arm and arm, to me,
hey,
it's just
we're friends now.
like we are together in this battle. Like I'm like, but he killed your mama. That's not light.
I was still thinking about that. Like, yeah, no, he still killed your mama. At the end of the day.
I wish that was
directly kill her. He did just throw water bombs and stuff.
No, when somebody says I'm gonna kill you, and they come back and they kill you, regardless of the method, you did because. He caused the. I mean, you can't now. If he would have been like, "Yo, I did not mean to kill your mama," but that's different. He said, "I'm gonna kill y'all," and then right before he kills the mama, he looked dead in her eyes and be like, "Sorry, what's love got to do with it?" And takes her out. Like come on, like it's hard because I'm just thinking
another
about
Angela Bassett movie.
I mean, I even during that whole scene where the queen is there and they're trying to get her, like I was just waiting for her to exhale, and I just could not.
But how did Stella get her groove back?
Oh my goodness!
But no, like I don't know, man. It's tough, man, because it's like I can't. But that's what made the whole. I really wish there was an end credit scene where she sleep in her bed, and then she woke up and she's like, "This nigga killed my mama." And then we see a scene where she goes to the fish atlas and kill, Atlantis and kills him. Like I actually thought he was gonna get killed by his that girl, which that last scene that he was in when she was walking up to him. I thought she was gonna kill him in that scene because I thought to myself, I'm like, they were out to kill. Like his team was out to kill. I think that made him look weak. So I actually thought, and now he only has one wing. I actually thought 1 foot, 1 foot wing. I actually thought that she was going to take him out because she was like, "Thus, by now you want to work with them after we should have been killing them for the vibranium. What's going to happen to us and our people?" I wanted her to take him out. Like I just wanted him to die.
But that scene just showed you how smart Namor was.
Well,
like,
I mean,
how cunning
it's
and
like, he can use. It still kind of shows a little bit of weakness though, because it's like, well, yeah, like okay, you were going to kill them. It's like, well, we can actually work with them now. Like it's kind of like a, now they owe us or something. It's kind of weird dynamic. I'm like, yeah, it's a settle.
He kind of still win in the end. That's basically
I mean,
in a weird way though.
Yeah, because not only did he kill the mom, the queen, not just the queen. Only he killed the queen. He killed a bunch of the soldiers by doing that siren shit where they fall in and drown. And then they also killed some people in battle. So for me, I'm sitting here just like, yo, there's a lot of damage that was done. The very minimum we can do is go down to Atlantis and take out some of those children who was flying around, so they don't. So you don't want them. You got to cut the children off.
You don't want to see Wakanda do that.
Alternate
Some villains
in the alternate multiverse. That's what. But I think as much. That's the thing that I love about Black Panther is Black Panther 1 and Black Panther 2. Ryan Coogler's writing or whatever. What I love is that I understand why these things happen, even if I don't like it and think there's another way to do it. I still understand it, and actually, at the end of the day, I kind of get it. I mean, look, as much as I want the revenge part of it, the reality of it is T'Challa and the Queen would have advised her not to do it. Mm-hmm. And if she's gonna go and live in their legacy,
right, she has to do.
Because killing is not. I've killed people, so killing is not something that you easily, I mean, who gonna catch me? I didn't say names. I ain't give locations. I'm not like a rapper who put out an album talking about giving the latitude. I ain't giving the latitude and longitude of my murders in my song.
Well, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
But I get. Remember who you are and all that stuff. I get it, but man, that's my mama. Yeah. And I don't even love her mama, and I still wouldn't abide by it. Mama.
So, let's talk about the after credit scene. Right before that, you had the Shuri on the beach, and it goes quietly.
What she was doing.
What'd you say?
Shuri on the beach, but go ahead.
Oh, at the end part. You saw that part. She's burning.
You saw that one.
She's burning the white clothes because, I don't know if you heard the dialogue. They burn that that's a sign of the mourning is over. Like the mourning period is done. So she burns the clothes they wore at the funeral.
Okay.
And I definitely, that was probably the one part I did tear up at that Indy saw me. I was like, oh, well, I was wiping my eyes. And so this is my thoughts of the after credit scene. As soon as that little kid was there, I was like, oh, I already knew who he was immediately. I was like, oh, that's his son. Of course he had a son. Yeah. I was like,
yeah. I mean,
I wish Marcus was on the podcast because we would definitely have said, but also he been getting it on the side with
I was trying to do the math. I was like, how old is this son? When was he?
They said she left 6 years ago. This boy was probably like 5 years old.
Yeah, maybe so that was
5.5.
So that was the thing.
So from the Black Panther 1 to then, was she like this was after Black Panther 1?
This was after Black Panther 1.
Yeah. And remember, there was a blip. There was a blip that happened, so they didn't disappear during the blip. No. Yeah, T'Challa was blipped. But he did probably come back from the blip and saw his son.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that blip, because
he conceived the son before the blip.
Yeah,
5 years.
Yes, it was.
Because I heard the Spider place in 2025. If we're following along in the same timeline, this is 2026.
Yeah.
So he did. So T'Challa died the same year Chadwick died, 2020. So. Right,
I think T'Challa lasted longer than Chadwick. Chadwick died before T'Challa, oddly enough.
We'll see, but then that makes the timeline complicated. So if
I think the kid's older than 5, he's got to be 6. He's got to be 6.
Okay, but that still makes the timeline weird because if you jump, so if T'Challa dies in what? So how do we jump to 2025 at the of Wakanda Forever? She says because Nakia was gone, so that means that Black Panther took place. Black Panther was, so that means the blip lasted 5 years, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that would put us essentially in 2000 and 2025 when the movie starts, and 2026 at the end of the movie.
For the year.
Yeah.
So we're in 2026 basically. So that means that Chadwick would have died in 2020. His son at a young age. If he was there to see his son, so it means his son was born in 2020.
The movie came out in 2018,
right?
And I think they conceived a kid in 2018, and so he was blipped, but he was also blipped in 2018, and so then 5 years from 2018 is 2023, right?
And then you fast forward a year because they had to.
So when he came back, from the blip, he saw his son. I got that because they mentioned that he met his father.
Okay, so now that actually starts to make sense now. So he came back for the blip and like, oh shit, you got a son. Oh wow. Yeah. And then so this is now so this is what I've been trying to figure out because I've heard conflicting stories of this. So this is what happened. The blip happened, say 2019? We want to say
2018.
2018 is the blip. Yeah. The blip lasted 5 years. He came back and they finished the battle. Yes. And then when he got back from the blip, he goes to Haiti to see Nakia and finds out that he has a son.
Right.
He meets his son, and then he says to Nakia, let's keep him in Haiti because I don't know what's about to happen. The world is crazy.
Right. Plus, he knew he had a sickness. He knew he had a
sickness. And
he only told her, and he didn't tell anybody else.
The queen knew too. The queen knew.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So no, about the sickness he didn't tell anybody, but the queen knew about his son. So he knew he had a sick. Also, we're exposed because everyone knows that we have vibranium. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Then he passes away not long. He goes back to Wakanda, and then he passes away, and she stays in Haiti for another year or so until the queen shows up and lures her back. So now that I understand the timeline, this has literally been a source of conversation of everybody I know have talked to trying to figure. This is the first time the timeline has ever been like made sense to me now. So then I guess the problem I have is of all people, why not Shuri?
That's the same thing. I am the exact same thing. Why does Shuri not know?
I have a problem with that. It's a clever plot.
Realistic.
It's a clever plot point, but it's not realistic to their relationship.
No,
they were tight as tight.
She would have known about that son.
She would have known about the son. I think it would have. I mean, it would have killed the scene because she would have.
The scene could have worked even if she knew, because she would like, she didn't have to be surprised. Like, who are you? She could have been like, my nephew, and I'm like, there'd been a whole nother. So
it would have been a surprise to all of us. It wouldn't have been a surprise to her.
It would have been a surprise. Exactly.
Right.
Like, why does she got to be the audience for us?
Good point.
Right.
Good point. I see your point.
Right.
Like that wasn't like you said, it wasn't continued. It didn't really connect with their relationship.
But you had to get to the point of the movie where she had nobody. So she thought she had nobody blood related to her, and there you go. You got the reason why. And I felt like
she needed the motivation.
You need the motivation. And
she needed the motivation.
I think the other thing, the reason why they show the kid is hope. I think that's a big hope. Like, he kind of left somebody left somebody behind, and it's like, this could be the next. This could be this will be the next.
Like, I think we understand the reasoning behind it. I understand from a plot point reasoning. This was all because once the movie had to be rewritten, it became all about Shuri and self-discovery to become Black Panther. This is basically her. This is basically her origin story in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely her origin. Yeah.
But I'm not indicative to the relationship that she shared. I think it spits in the face of the relationship that she had with her brother. To be point. Like that, he would have a prince, a whole child that was a whole talking human being that he would never keep that from his sister.
That's true.
The illness, because I think it could have even been a point to where like everyone who knows me is dead, but I still have to fight for this because there's still some, you know what I mean? I feel like there could have been like for her an internal thing, nothing that we learned outwardly, but as
technically, the kid don't know her, so that
true.
It's still been true.
Yeah, that's still true.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
But I still, I got a lot to protect. Like I gotta still protect. I gotta keep. Well, she could have
Which
even
shows another motivation,
right.
Like I gotta build up my legacy, and I gotta make sure that the Black Panther never dies because I got a nephew that's got to step next.
Right,
Because
because I was about to say I was about to say for a movie for two movies so heavily focused on ancestral stuff and legacy and preservation and things like that.
Right.
That could have been her final like so. Her mom still passes away, cool, but then her motivation is also just like maybe we don't know it until she goes to the beach. She's walking on the beach, and then we all of a sudden hear a tiny voice in the back says, "Hi, Auntie." Auntie, or dude, exactly what Killmonger. I almost said Killmonger, and then hey, Auntie, and then she turns around and she says, "There he is," and gives him a big hug or whatever. And then Nakia walks up, and then she brings him a gift like a soccer ball or some shit because she can say here's your dad's. I brought you a soccer ball. Your dad used to love kicking the soccer ball around. He starts kicking that shit up and down the beach, and they're watching him. And then she goes, she alludes to the fact that she had something else. She said he was the only one left. I had something else I needed to protect for him, or something like what I mean, something poetic. And I would have been okay with that. I just think not realistic, even though we're talking about something completely fictional. It is not realistic.
It's not consistent with the character.
Yeah, it's not consistent.
You're right. You're completely right.
Now, I blame Ryan Coogler for making us so invested in these characters that I care this much. Like I got over relationships. I got over everything that I did. I got over everything in this movie that I initially maybe didn't completely love or buy. I cannot get over that. If Ryan Coogler walked into my studio apartment right now in the middle of Hollywood and says, "What up, Brick?" and I'd be like, "Why the no, she had a nephew living in Haiti. If I ever see him in the streets, he better not let me see him walking down Melrose or in Beverly Hills." I'm literally
the Avengers campus in Anaheim.
I'm looking for Ryan Coogler.
Works over there.
I hope I get cast.
For, being on Dora Miller's show. So
really?
I get cast in Fruitville Station 2. First thing I'm gonna do is walk on set and be like, "Ryan Coogler." I'm gonna walk up and down the set screaming, "Ryan Coogler, show yourself." He gonna come out and was like, "I'm gonna go off, man."
Okay.
I'm gonna go off.
Just for that not even the 5-minute scene.
I'm sorry. That exactly. That is the one I did walk away. That was the one I was just like, all right, guys. Yeah. I'm cool with him having a son. I'm cool with that. That's not a problem because they can fast forward the next movie, age everybody, and this is now the teenage Black Panther.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
We could.
They can absolutely do that, and I'm here.
I am cool with that, but I just man, they too close, man. They have too close.
So, what's everybody's favorite characters? Let's talk about favorite characters real quick. Even though because we described the characters already, and we said a lot of powerful characters in the movie.
Already, so Nakia is my favorite, absolutely.
Straight up. I really like Riri. Yeah, and I like Namor. I like Namor hands down. First of all, I liked every character in this movie. There's no character in this movie I did not like. Everybody gets an MVP for me, but even Julie Louis-Dreyfus. No, I didn't like her, but she's the villain, so
Yeah,
she could have not even been in the movie.
That's true. She wasn't really needed. But Riri, and then Namor were my favorites.
Yeah, because I'm not a Marvel TV watcher like I am the movies, except for. I wasn't really. I didn't. Somebody had to tell me where the hell Julie Louis-Dreyfus came from. I was like, what's Seinfeld doing here? What's Beat doing in here? She didn't bother me as much. I think they're setting up that plot line for the third one. I think they were simultaneously building blocks for the third Black Panther. So
they were, but I think she's going to be something else. It's going to be like some other villain thing because she does play a part in other Marvel stuff. She's supposed to be Madam Hydra, and so she's like recruiting like the bad the kind of villainous like Marvel villain
Right.
characters or whatever. So that's what she's doing. She's basically the anti Nick Fury. So she's building
Okay.
her own team. So that's what's going on with her.
Well, I think they're still. Yeah, I definitely think they're setting. I mean, I could tell, but also think they're setting up the showdown for the government versus Wakanda.
Yeah, they definitely showing that. Yeah,
basically, it's going to be Black Panther 3, the Vibranium War, or some shit like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's going to be a fight for Vibranium at this point. Favorite characters? It's a tie for me between the Queen, may she rest in peace, and Riri. I think Riri was, like I said earlier, she's just a much needed jolt in the plot.
Yeah,
I think she was necessary. Without her, I think the movie would have been a little bit more sorrowful than we wanted it to be.
So yeah, my two favorite, I said Nakia and M'Baku. I mean, he is very likable, and I mean, I feel
love him. He had a bigger part in this movie.
Yeah.
More, and
I wish he had a bigger part.
Voice of reason to Shuri.
Yes. That showed the character growth from M'Baku because he was just like a kind of a thug in the first one, almost. You know,
right?
Like
reason, but he was still a ride or die. Like that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, he Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying?
He is. Yeah.
It's like,
but
I'll protect your people. You need some time. I got you. Let's go, Queen. Like you won. Let's go, Queen. Let's go.
See, M'Baku M'Baku is still like one of my favorite like Marvel characters in general. In this movie, I've always felt like he was criminally underused. I think there was more that he could have done in terms of the plot. But I understand what they had to do and what they needed to focus on.
This movie.
Yeah, but I do like the reason. That's the reason why he's not one of my favorites MVP like from the movie because I don't think
he MVP. He was a good character. I love.
They didn't give him enough. They didn't give him enough. But I do love the one line that I really loved and appreciated was at the Queen's funeral is when he was just like, "Your brother told me to look after you," which showed, I really it almost made me man. I would have wished to see him and T'Challa going to battle together on. You know what I mean? Like that was just it made me miss that.
Well, they went to battle together in Infinity War. Right. You got to see them fight together in Infinity War.
Yeah, but I mean, like side by side, like taking on something together.
Not
that's what
side by side, but yeah, they're both there. So yeah,
yeah, that's what I like. I like Winston Duke as an actor in general, but I do like him as this character. And I almost wish, I'm Marvel going a little bit crazy with the spinoffs and giving everybody getting their own something. Right. But I would love to explore M'Baku a little bit more if I could. Maybe not a series, I don't know, but maybe the third movie he's more of a bigger part because he's turning into an elder. He's turning into an elder.
Yeah, because the way they leave this movie off, he was challenging him from the throne. That's the last thing we see.
Oh, he did say that. That's true.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
So we'll see what's going to happen.
Which I laughed hard at because there was nobody there to fight him.
right, exactly. So I don't know what's going to happen. So how would y'all rate this movie? Do you remember our rating system?
Yeah, it's no, I don't.
The lowest is trash. Then there is do over. Then it's replay. And then it's sequel, and then neck bleed. I would say sequel for me. I definitely want to. I need to watch this again just because of my experience. And I was going to plan on watching it again anyway, so it's on my list to watch again in the theaters. I definitely am encouraged by the box office and the amount of support that it's getting nationally.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, as far as the quality of the movie, I think that it's definitely a high quality superhero movie. It's also a standalone. I think it's definitely even if you didn't watch Black Panther original, you can watch this without watching it.
I think so.
There's a lot of memory to it. So I mean, most people that watch it will not have seen Black Panther 1. And so, but I think that you can just watch Black Panther and Wakanda Forever and not have to watch any other Marvel movies. So, if you don't care. But so, yeah, I would say sequel for me. I do look forward. They did say, after the long credits, watching everybody's name, thinking it was going to be a second thing. So,
what did it say?
Black Panther will return. That's what.
It didn't give a date or anything, did it? Okay.
No, it just said.
Of course,
there'll be another one.
I'm here for part 3.
Yeah,
I think I also give it a sequel as well, because I was like, people were comparing it to the first one a lot, and I'm like, I still like the first one more.
I mean, the first was a neck bleed.
Yeah, first one is like a not There's no argument. Netflix, like no argument.
There's no debate. No debate.
There's no debating that. Like,
Maybe that's what it is. All right, so yeah, first one's a neck bleed movie, so this one's a sequel. Because of course I want to see these characters again. You know.
Mhm.
yeah, certainly a sequel, and it's a rewatch as well. I mean, a replay or whatever. Like, I think, yeah, I mean, there's so many great things about this movie, and for any flaw that it has, can overlook that because of everything that came into it. And I think, again, the only reason why this movie for me is bleed that has also actually has nothing to do with the cousin plot. I mean, the nephew plot hole. It's for me, it's just I can't. When I saw Black Panther, I was in it. I was just in it. I don't even know how long time passed by the time it was over. I was just in it. In this film, I couldn't stay in it because I knew we know about Chadwick. Like, so it's like,
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's the difference. Yeah, for me,
that's the difference maker.
Especially when I first watched the first one. We watched that first one, man. Chadwick steals the show, man. He's just like, he got such swagger. He's like Wakanda Forever. He's all chill. He all cool with his sister. I'm like, this dude is a star. This dude is a hero.
Yes.
And that's why this movie is not quite there. It's like, I mean, like, it's still a great movie, and I love it.
Great movie.
Yeah,
and
but I'm just like, still missing T'Challa. That's all.
I give love and I give praise to what the insurmountable task that Ryan Coogler and the team had to go through to put this together. I listened to the official Wakanda Forever podcast, hosted by Tahani Coates. I'm trying to remember. He's hosting in his first up. He's got 2 episodes up now. Another episode.
Wrote a couple of Black Panther comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he actually
Black Panther comics. Yeah.
there it is. Tahani Coates has a podcast out now called Wakanda Forever, the official Black Panther podcast. And you guys are cool with me the podcast that I'm not even involved with.
Yeah,
but his first interview was with and I'm gonna try to keep this brief because I know we're pushing time. Basically, to sum it up, like he talked about how Ryan Coogler had the whole film written right after the first Black Panther, pretty much. He started writing it, and then his thing was he sent it to Chadwick and was like, "Hey, I want you to read this. Let me know what you think. I'm sending it to Marvel as well." And Chad was like, "No, I don't want to mess up the Marvel's notes." But it turns out he didn't want to read it because he was too tired to read it. Because he was at the end. He was at the end of his battle. He said, and a couple weeks later, Chadwick was gone. So if you think about it this way, I thought about the timeline in this. If Chadwick passes away in 2020, early 2020, this movie goes into production not even a year later. We had to go, but like the next year, and then now it's already out, which. Marvel superhero movies in general will take a while because of special effects and things like that. And not only that, you got to go by the Marvel timeline because there's other movies. You're not alone in this. The other movies, the movie you do affects every other movie. So you can't really delay this movie too much because it falls into the phase. So if you can't jump the timelines with the movie, so they have to land where they land. To see what they were able to do in the amount of time they had, and also with the pressure first off, this is a sequel to one of the biggest movies of all time.
Right.
Also, you're dealing with the death of your star who embodied the character. Exactly. You have to rewrite the entire plot. You have to deal with a COVID pandemic. All of those things. To see what they were able to do, this end product, I have nothing but a round of applause for what they were able to do. The only thing that sucks about knowing all of that is it does take you out of the movie somewhat because you know that, our sister didn't want to do the vaccine, and we know all of these things that were standing in the way of the movie being what it was, what it could have been. It still became what it should have been. So I give them 100% love and credit for that. Ryan Coogler, if you're listening, because I know you are, because anytime someone says Wakanda Forever, you're there. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations to everyone in that cast, and I cannot wait to work with y'all on the third Black Panther. And I could play M'Baku's brother.
I can see that.
Doombacco.
What's your accent sound like?
I'm working on it. I got to get with my dialect coach. I don't want to. You gonna make me? Jason gonna make me lose. Jason gonna make me lose his part before I get it. I'm trying. But no, man. I on all seriousness, man, they killed it, and Chadwick is a huge loss, man. Not just for the movie, but for all of us in general who loved his work for that small time that he was on our radar, man. It's just we got what almost 10 years we got 8 years with him, man, and it's hard, but they did a great job. So I definitely want to give love and peace love to everyone involved and blessings to everyone involved. So right. Sorry, I know I went a little bit, but I had
fine, man.
I couldn't. You know what I mean? Right. It's deeper than just talking about, like, you can't movie on its face. Like, it's deeper than that. Not only is it's our culture, but it's also like, man, we lost our brother, man. All of us feel connected. After Black Panther, I think everyone felt connected to Chadwick. Can we say his name like we know this nigga? Right, like, man, when, I don't know what, man, I was hurt when Chadwick died. Yeah, man, when Chadwick, like, we don't say Chadwick Boseman. We say Chadwick. That's our nigga. I don't know. And let me say this. I don't know anyone. I can't remember anyone in my lifetime who was passed away that they stopped broadcast and put his movie on almost commercial free.
Yeah.
Because when he died, ABC aired Black Panther commercial free after he died as a tribute. This nigga got a tribute.
Yeah.
That fast, yeah.
That shows the impact that this young man had, and I say young man on purpose, that this young man had on us for a very short amount of time. I mean, it's amazing, y'all. It's amazing. I'm not saying
things that he embodied as far as just the historical characters too. So like we talked.
Yeah. He was known for that. He joked about that. He was. That's how big of a deal he was.
He was biography man.
Right. He was I love that he was on What If.
Different characters and still and they look just like them, but he was like,
he did it.
The only one he actually looked like was Jackie Robinson, but he still pulled it off. Like, it's crazy because and that's the thing. Like, when Sidney Poitier died, that was not they didn't take a night out to put it. You know what I mean? That shows how much his current cultural impact was on us. We lost this man too soon.
I said before he died, I remember telling people, I said Chadwick is the new Denzel. That's what I said. I said that right before he died, and then he died, and I was like, well, yeah, that's how I saw what he was becoming, and so
and the fact that he did this sick. He was sick this whole time. This whole time he was going through cancer treatments. He was. I remember. Clark Peters was talking about this on a set of Defy Bloods, where he was like, he was in tears because he was like, he thought he was some kind of like big shot actor because he had all around him. Every time they said cut, he had all these people surrounding him, like taking care of him after they said cut. Well, the only reason why they were doing that was because the man, he needed it to keep going. This man is doing fight choreography. This man is in the jungle on the Five Bloods. This man is playing all of these different characters. This man is like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was not an easy role to play. If you've ever read August Wilson is not an easy read. Yeah. It's like modern day Shakespeare in some ways. And you got monologues, and these monologues upon dialogue and frantic dialogue. He did that while battling cancer. This man was dying, and he still gave us what he gave us. Man,
I know he's.
Let me tell y'all something. If I stub my toe right now, I would. If I stub this toe, I'm telling you this. If I stub my toe before this podcast, I would not be here right now. This man had cancer playing Black Panther. I stubbed my toe. I would be like, yo, Josh, I can't make the podcast because I stubbed my toe.
I was gonna say, man, he was a hero because he kept it all silent about that. I was like, if I had cancer or if I had something where I'm sick, I would tell everybody, I'm sick.
Bruh, do you know how much sympathy booty I'd be trying to get if I had cancer right now? If I go to the doctor, if I get a call from my doctor tomorrow and said I got cancer, you know how much booty I'm going after? If I'm going to go out.
Me too. I'm going to go out.
You might. Hey, yo. Okay. Let me tell you something, girl. You might be my last one. You might be my last one.
You might be the last one. Oh, my goodness.
wow.
So send me to heaven in the right way, girl.
Oh,
You know what I mean? That's what I'm just being real, Jason. You cut us off if you want to. We just being real. You ain't being real, Jason. You better get real, Jason.
Anyway, let's tell everybody where to follow you, everyone. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is bad. Go to hell.
We are live on, so I may not even edit this out on the podcast.
Don't edit it out, brother.
So tell everybody where to follow you, Brick.
Follow. So yeah.
Oh yeah. You can follow me on Instagram, the THE Brick Jackson.
Jason?
Smiley Jason _ on Instagram or smileyjason.com.
All right, and you can follow me as Prop Josh on just about everything as well.
And we're all off.
Josh.
We're all off Twitter, right? We gave it up. We all deactivated.
I've been stopped Twitter.
All right, we coming back, MySpace. Get ready, Tom. Get ready, Tom.
I paid for my blue check mark, so.
So we don't need no final thoughts. Brick gave the final thoughts. That was great.
Oh man,
So,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So there we go. Oh wait, we have somebody here to give their review. Billy Bob is here. Billy Bob, what you think about the movie Wakanda Forever? I give that movie a trash. Why were you gonna give it a trash, Billy Bob? Not enough whites. I didn't like seeing all of them. I didn't see it like seeing all it. This was too woke. Too many women. Oh, why are you gonna have women and black women? I didn't see no white women. Why were all the white women evil? But well, hey, Billy Bob, look, we dealing with a lot of movies that has a lot of white women. You can watch those. Well, I wasn't happy with that. Well, I'm sorry, Billy Bob. I'm going to ask you to leave. Well, fine. I didn't want to be on this podcast anyway. Oh, what were you going to say? You know what I wanted to say. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. Trump 2024. No, get out of here, Billy Bob.
Oh, Josh.
I was looking around for like, what dude is who they adding to the podcast? This
Billy Bob likes to jump in every now and then. I think he likes listening to us. I think he hates listen. He likes to hate listen. So, all right. Well,
Jason's like, you niggas are still talking. I'm sleepy.
I'm hungry too. I'm about to eat. All right. So, good night, everybody.